Hello, everyone. I think I'm live. Let me just double check to make sure. And so let me know if you can hear me okay. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And let's see where I'm at. Here I am. I believe. All right. So now I want to set up. Hi, Connie. Glad you're here. Wanted to make it so I could see. And perfect. Okay. Hello, Stamping friends. And as you get that notification, hop on, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. I really appreciate it. And I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And this is your first time here, welcome. And welcome to those of you coming back. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button down below. That really helps me to grow my channel. I am streaming this live on YouTube and Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, leave me a comment, thumbs up. I appreciate it. You'll know you're watching it live if you see the live button up in the right-hand corner or the left-hand corner of your screen. I'm not sure which. Otherwise, you're watching the replay. And today is Tuesday, December 14th of 2021. I have two cards for you today. And the first card is going to be simple stamping. And simple stamping is using stamps, ink, and paper. And then I'm going to make a second card and I'm going to step it up a little bit. And then I have two other cards to share with you at the end. And the cards that I'm going to make today, you can use these at Christmas or all occasion. And I'll kind of tell you a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. But there are a lot of things going on in the Stampin' Up! World. And I want to talk to you just about a little bit of them before we start our stamping. So the first thing is that we have Last Chance. And right now we have our mini holiday catalog is retiring. So now through January 3rd, you can stock up on your favorite things from that catalog before they retire. And on my web page at rusticbarncards.com, you can find the list. Now, when the items are gone, they're gone. So they won't be, so you want to get your order in as soon as you can. And this is a mini catalog that is retiring. But don't worry, we have a brand new catalog coming out in January. So a couple of things that I want to share with you before we start stamping is in January, I'm going to start my monthly stamps club, and it will be $30 a month. And the stamp set that I'm going to use is Love and Happiness. Now, I know this shows all sentiments, but they're beautiful sentiments you can use for anniversary, weddings, congratulations, and Valentine's Day. So lots of different, a variety of sentiments here. And for the $30 a month, you will receive the stamp set. So you'll get this stamp set right here, Love and Happiness, a video tutorial, and a card kit in the mail for 6 cards. And you can sign up right now over at rusticbarncards.com. But what I wanted to tell you that although you will be receiving the Love and Happiness cling stamp set for your cards. For your cards, I'm going to be using the Bouquet of Love hybrid embossing folder. You don't need to purchase this. If you would like to, you can add that on to your class fee. But this is a hybrid embossing folder. So it means it comes with an embossing folder, and it also comes with dies. And so I'll be using that, and you'll be getting some pieces from that in your card kit. And just to kind of quickly show you using the embossing folder, It's really, really pretty. And here I used it on some glitter paper. So and more information you can find on my webpage about my monthly Stamps Club starting in January. And you can sign up now for that. And then I'm also going to have a Zoom party on January 28th from 6 to 8. Hi, Judy. I'm glad you could join us. And I'm going to be using Sweet Conversations, but in my Zoom party, if you want to make the card the same as me, you need to own the stamp set. So you can add that on, or you can use any stamp set that you have. So I'm going to be using Sweet Conversations for my Zoom party on the 28th of January from 6 to 8. You will receive for the card class price of $40, a roll of ribbon, a roll of gems, designer series paper, and a card kit and written tutorials. Plus, we'll be crafting together on Zoom. And again, more information on my website. And I'm really excited. I have joined 2 other demonstrators, a demonstrator in Australia and a demonstrator in Canada, and myself, and we are the online crafting trio. And we are going to have an online global retreat on February 12th, if you live in Canada or here in the United States, or Sunday, February 13th, if you live in Australia. And so the registration is going to be out soon for this. So mark your calendars for the online global retreat. And then I just wanted to show you our brand new catalog. I cannot open them yet, but these will go live on January 4th. And we'll have celebration from January 4th through February 28th. And if you're not familiar with celebration, basically place a $50 order and you receive a free item from the celebration catalog. So that's pretty great, right? Okay, are you ready to do some stamping? Move those things out of the way. Okay, so for my cards today, you know, it is the holiday season, but today I thought I would use Nothing's Better Than. It is true, this particular stamp set is on back order. It's the 27th of December, so you can order it then, hopefully. And it also comes with dies. Comes with Love You More Than Dies. And the first card, we're not going to use just stamps, ink, and paper. But for the second card, I'll be using the cookies die and the die that cuts out the cookies. So I'll just take those out right now, since I wanted to show you what I'm going to be using today. I'm going to move those out of the way because we don't need those till later. So this is really a fun set. If you like to drink coffee, cookies, cocktails, chocolate, it has a lot of sayings that you can add together. So, you know, it's a coffee kind of day, so you can mix and choose on the sentiments. And it is 2-step with the cookies and the chocolate and the cup, and you could, you know, it could be tea or hot chocolate or anything like that. So I was thinking that during the holidays, I don't know about you, but I often do some baking, and I'll bake some cookies and give them to the neighbors. And so if you do that, cookies or fudge or something, the cards I'm going to make today would be perfect for you to just tuck in to your plate of cookies when you take those over to the neighbors or whoever you might be giving them to. So my first card that I'm going to use, I'm using Basic White 8.5 by 5.5 for our card base. And then I have Polished Pink, and this is 5.25 by 4. And I am going to use this as a layer on top of my card base. So I'm just going to add some adhesive. It's a little crooked there, so we will add this. And then I have Basic White 4 by 3 to stamp on. And I'm going to be using Polished Pink ink and our Memento black ink. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the black. And again, we're doing stamps, ink, and paper for the first card. And I'm using today's plan, Consume. So I'm just going to ink up today's plan, and I'm going to, in the upper left-hand corner, stamp today's plan. Clean that stamp really well, and that's all we need of the black. And I'll open up the polished pink, and I'm going to bring in, I think I'm going to, I think I'll go ahead and stamp up the cookies first. We'll just ink up the cookies. I don't stamp it up. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to kind of turn it a little bit because it just gives it a little bit of interest, I guess you would say. And now I have my cookie stamps, one on each block because it is a two-step. And I like to start with this outline. It works better for me, but actually you can start with the one that fills it in first if you want to. So it's whatever you want. You can also have one color in the outline and one color to fill it. I'm going to use the same. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to place one. I'm going to place this right down here, but I'm just going to leave that one like it is. I'm just doing the other three cookies I'm going to stamp. I'm going to fill in. So I'll ink that up again, and I'm going to put one, about right here. Then I'll ink it up again, and I'm going to put another cookie right here. And then I'm going to bring in some scratch paper because I am going to do some stamping off. So I'm going to bring in this stamp here that fills it in. I'm going to ink that up, but then I'm going to stamp off. Now I could have a cushion underneath my where I'm stamping because I am using the photopolymer ink, or stamps rather. And then I'm just going to kind of line that up. And you know, this is kind of like the frosting of the cookies. So if it doesn't get exactly, if it doesn't fill it in exactly, that's okay. Because when you frost cookies, sometimes they're all just a little bit different, right? So do want to give it a good press. I'll get that word out eventually. Oh, so I got a little too much ink there on my block, didn't I? Okay, let me clean my block. So we'll close up the polished pink. And now we're going to lay this here. Now we can adhere this right here, but I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals. So one in each corner, one in the middle. So I'm going to pop it up. And then the second card we're going to make, we're going to step it up. You know what? I forgot prizes. That's never good when you forget prizes. So we would give prizes away and find out who the winners are from last week as soon as I make this card and before we start our next card. So I'm going to center this the best I can. And here is our first card, today's plan, Consume Cookies. So you can make some cookies and tuck this little card in to give with your tray of cookies. But let's go ahead and step this up. But before we step this up, I think we should give some prizes away because I have some from last week. And we don't want to forget that. So congratulations. This is a random drawing for those of you that left a comment last week. So congratulations to Naomi Trayer from Ohio. you won the random drawing for leaving a comment, and you've won the card that I made last week on my live with using the stamp set free as a bird. So please email me your address. Thanks, Connie and Judy. I'm glad that you like my first card. And from last week, congratulations to Linda Marshall from Texas for being the winner of the random drawing for placing an order with me. You will receive the Flowers for Every Season, Memories and More card pack, and that will go out in the mail tomorrow. And I do have your address. So please leave a comment today, or if you're watching the replay, and you'll be entered in a drawing for the 2 cards that I'm making today. And then if you share my video, you'll be in a random drawing for this beautiful metallic Blushing Bride ribbon. And it is gorgeous. I don't know how well you can see it, but it sparkles. And when you share my video, make sure that you tell me that you've shared it, okay? And this week, for placing an order with me, you'll be in a random drawing for a package of acetate card boxes. And these are 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. And we do have 2 sizes of acetate card boxes, and this is the smaller size. So when you place an order with me this week, you'll be in a random drawing for those. Hi, Anne. I'm glad you're here. So let's go ahead and make that second card. So this is the first card that we made using Nothing's Better Than. And as I said, you can just send it to someone, or if you do some baking, you bake some cookies, you're going to give the cookies, a tray of cookies to someone for the holidays, you could tuck this little card right in there with that. Okay, so now we're going to step it up, and I do have 2 more cards to share with you. So we're going to use the card base, Basic White, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and I've already folded that in half. And we're going to use Polished Pink, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to emboss this using the Painted Texture embossing folder. This is a 3D embossing folder, and it means it's a little bit thicker. And this is probably my favorite embossing folder right now. And the reason that I love it so much is because no matter what card you place it on, it looks great. So let me move that scrap out of the way. And we are going to do a little embossing. So I'm bringing in my large cut and emboss machine. And for this, because I'm using 3D and it shows you exactly right here, I just need plate number 1. And then I'm going to place my Polished Pink inside my folder. And then I'm going to lay it so the folded edge is going to go under. And then I'm taking plate 4 and placing that on top. And then I'm just going to crank it through. This plate out of the way. And isn't that gorgeous? And we are going to just go ahead and adhere this to the front of our card. Now you can use either side. So it doesn't matter. So just whichever side that you like the best. I'm going to try and make sure I get on the edges of my, and I'm just going to place that right down here on my card base. So we step this up because the first card I made, we did not emboss, and this time we are embossing. Hello, Anne. Oh, and someone's here from the Netherlands. I'm afraid to pronounce your name, but welcome, because I'm afraid I will not pronounce it correctly, but I'm so glad you're here. And then I have Basic White, and I'm going to be using the Stitch So Sweetly dies. Now I like to print out the title, you know, what they are, and I put the order number, and I also put, this is the annual catalog in May of 2021, what page is on and how many pieces, and it always tells you that, but that kind of helps me when I go to use them. So the Stitch So Sweetly dies, we're going to use the largest one right here. And then I have one already cut out, but we're just going to go ahead and bring in my mini cut and emboss machine. And this time I need plate 1, plate 2, and then I'm going to put my basic white, and I'm going to lay my die, and it's always flat. So it's, when I look at it, the flat part is facing me, and then plate 2 on top. So that's our sandwich. 1, 2, our cardstock, and then our die. And let's go ahead and take that through. Hope you can see on camera. Okay. Those out of the way. And then here is our stitched cardstock. And this is what we are going to stamp on. So I'm going to bring back our ink. I'm going to bring in, today's plan is consume. Ink this up. And I'm going to put this in the upper left-hand corner. And that is all of the black ink I need. So I'm going to lay that aside, and then I'm going to bring in, I'm going to bring in a strip of polished pink, and this is our adhesive sheets. So if you have never used our adhesive sheets, I want to show you how they work. And they work great for when you have detailed die. So I'm going to be using the die Cookies, and I want it to stick on. So I cut off a sheet of the adhesive, and I probably should have started, there we go. It's not too hard. I should have started the corner before I got on here. So I'm going to peel this off, and this is the sticky side. And I'm going to lay that right there. And I guess I should have measured a little bit better, but we will just take care of that. And now I am going to run this through our embossing machine. So I'll bring in our little mini because it's easier for you to see. And I need 1, plate 2. And the polished pinks on the front, and then we have that adhesive on the bottom. Then I'm going to place our Cookies die with the flat side toward me. Put our plate 2, and then we'll just go ahead and run this through. And if we died, you know what, because it's a little thicker, I'm going to go ahead and run it through again. And I could have run it through and then put it back out, but I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. Because I use the large cut and emboss machine, and maybe, so I'm just going to run it through and then go back through. Perfect. And then I will bring in my take your pick tool, and I can just take that right off. And then I don't see you have that little O for the I, and I don't want to lose that, right? So, and I am not going to take I'm going to add glue to this. I use my putty side and pick that up. All right, so leave that right there. I'll lay this aside, and then all we need to do is to peel off the back, and this will stick on our card. So that is it's so much easier than trying to add glue on this particular die. So now this is sticky. So, you know, a lot of times we add glue, but see this, it would be more, since it's detailed, it'd be a little harder to do. So this is an easy way to do it. So I am going to, again, I'm going to place this on our card, but I am going to add a little glue right above the eye, because I am not going to try to take that adhesive off that little dot. So I'll just add a little dot here, and I will bring in my take your pick tool, turn it around, pick it up with the putty part, and then place it right there. Okay. So while that is drying, we are going to bring in our basic white and stamp our cookies. And so now I'm going to, oh, that's a really good idea. Connie says she swaps out her dot of her eye with a gem. And I like that. That's a good idea too. Thanks for sharing that, Connie. So now I need 3 cookies that I'm going to die cut out, and I already have them die cut out, so you don't have to watch me do that. But again, I'm just going to stamp 1, 2, 3, and then I'm using the same color polished pink. I'm going to clean that maybe. And then I'll ink this up. Now you could stamp these full strength. I just want to go ahead and stamp off. And again, this is perfect to tuck into a home baked. And if you're making fudge, we have a chocolate candy to choose from on the stamp set. Maybe you're doing a little gift basket of hot chocolate and some cups. Well, we have those cups. So it's all going to, so it'd be perfect to use during the holidays to tuck into a gift basket or a gift tray. And then you would just take your little die and place this right here, and it would go through the cut and emboss machine, which I have already done. So I'm going to bring those in. Maybe. There we go. And then I'm going to add them on our card, and then we're going to do one more stamping and add some gems. So while I'm adding these, I want you to be thinking about on our card, do we want to add the rhinestones or do we want to add the polished pink gems? So rhinestones or the polished pink. So let me know. I'm going to pop these up with a dimensional. So I'm going to put one about right here. And I'm going to put one right there. Yeah, I think to switch them out, and then we'll just tuck one down here. And then I'm going to bring in, because I'm going to have one cookie that I did not pop up. So I'm going to have one cookie I'm going to ink up and going to place right there. And we can leave it like that, but I am going to fill this one. I'm going to go ahead and fill this one in. So I'll stamp off. And stamp it on. Bring back our card base, and then we're going to turn this over and add some dimensionals. And I'm going to add 5, just 1 in each corner, 1 in the middle. I know sometimes I add a lot more. So the first card was stamps, ink, and paper, and then we are stepping this up a little bit with the painted texture embossing folder, and we die cut our cookies out, and also the word cookies. I guess I already have them. Okay, so let's see if we can center this the best we can in the middle. And I do have 2 other cards to show you. Do we want to use the polished pink? Or do we want to use the rhinestones? What do you think? While you're telling me what you want me to use, the polished pink or the rhinestones, this stamp set is in the annual catalog. And it is on page 87. Nothing's better than. And then the coordinating Love You More Than dies is on page 164. So it's right here. The dies that go with that. And then the painted texture, that my favorite embossing folder at the moment, I'm sure it will change, is on page 155 for $9. That painted texture 3D embossing folder that you can use for any card, and it really makes it look nice. So Connie, you're thinking maybe the rhinestones, because there's a lot of pink already. You know, I think you're right. I like that thought. It'll give it a little bit of a contrast. We do have a lot of pink going on. I'm going to use the putty part of my take your pick tool, but I could most certainly turn this pointy edge and use my spatula to pick up the gems. So I think I'm going to use a large rhinestone right here in the corner, one over here, and put one right down here. So what do you think? Do you like the cards? So here is our stamps, ink, and paper, and here we stepped it up and by embossing and die cutting and cutting out the word cookies. Let me show you my other cards. So my other card that I made, it's the same layout. It's just that I used a different cardstock. Mary Merlot, I believe, is what I used here. And then my third card is a different layout. And actually, I took my inspiration on page 87 of the annual catalog. This was my inspiration, and this is about cocktails, but I used this as an inspiration for my last card to share with you. And it is a day without chocolate. A day without chocolate is like, just kidding, I have no idea. So just to share with you another idea. And again, if you're making some homemade candy or fudge, you could tuck this little card in to your tray when you give it to someone for the holidays, if you bake goods and do some baking. But if you don't do any baking, these are really cute cards that you can send out to anyone for any occasion. So I'm glad you like both of them. I'm glad you like both of them, Connie. So let me know if you like the cards, and I would appreciate that. Let me know where you're watching from. Again, I'm Terry Hartley of Rustic Barn Cards. And yes, I'm making myself hungry too, Judy. So I'm Terry Hartley of Rustic Barn Cards. Please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, give me a like if you're watching on Facebook. And I come live on Tuesday at 1 p.m. and I upload videos on YouTube on Friday. Have a great week. Don't forget to check out my blog at www.rusticbarncards.com for lots more information. And thank you for watching, and have a